Good morning, dear children. Welcome back. Today we'll be doing our next lesson in English on being an Indian. Now you can see here a picture of an old man who is smiling. I hope you all can recognize this man. He's a very famous writer. He is none other than Ruskin Bond, and he's still alive, around 86 years old now, and he lives in Missouri. Okay, so he has written this lesson about how he feels to be in India, and how he loves India, and how he feels proud to be called an Indian, though he was born of British parents. So let's start reading. Now, Ruskin Bond, he wonders why some Indians are only too eager to pack up and go off to some foreign land. Although sometimes mistaken for a foreigner, he feels comfortable with his Indianness. So this actually, the whole story or this passage is about why Ruskin Bond wonders, he wonders why so many Indians just want to leave their country and go from here, though he has always loved India. And he has always wanted to live in India, and he still lives in India. Though he has got opportunities, he has had opportunities earlier, but he never wanted to leave India. So let's start with the story. There are many among us who, given the opportunity to leave India, are only too happy to go. But whenever I have had the chance to go away, I have held back, or something has held me back. What is it that has such a hold on me, but leaves others free to go where they will, sometimes never to return? Many years ago, I was offered a well-paid job at a magazine in Hong Kong. I thought about it for weeks, worried myself to distraction, and finally, with a great sigh of relief, turned it down. Now in the beginning only, Ruskin Bond, he just talks about this particular factor of Indians leaving their country and going abroad and settling down there, never to come back. And he said, something has held me back. I could not go, I could not leave this place. Many years ago, he was offered a well-paid job at a magazine in Hong Kong, since he was a writer, and he had become a writer at a very small age. So he got a job at a magazine also, but he thought about it for weeks. That was a very good offer which he had got, but he never wanted to leave India. He could not leave India. Okay, he was worried myself to distraction. It was a distraction for him for some time, but then he finally decided that he could not leave India, and he stayed back. My friends thought I was crazy. They still do. Most of them would have jumped at a comparable offer, even if it had meant spending the rest of their lives far from the palm-fringed coasts or pine-clad mountains of this land. Many friends have indeed gone away, never to return, except perhaps to get married very quickly before they are off again. Don't they feel homesick, I wonder? Now he tells about his friends also, that his friends used to consider him crazy, because they used to say you can't, you are not going to some other country. You are getting such good offers. You can easily go. And most of them would have gone if they had been given such offers. But he said, I just wonder why how can they leave their homes or their home country so easily? Don't they feel homesick? He wondered. So that is the thing, like he loved the country as it was his home, and how can a person leave his home so easily? That was actually the thing he was. I'm almost paranoid at the thought of going away and then being unable to come back. This almost happened to me when, as a boy, I went to England, longed to return to India, but did not have money for the passage. For 2 years, I worked and slaved like a miser, something I have never done since, until I had enough to bring me home. So he says, I'm almost paranoid at the thought of going away. Paranoid means to be afraid or to be worried about something, or extremely suspicious and worried, afraid. So he was actually paranoid at the thought of going away and then being unable to come back. What if he was not able to come back to his place? And so this almost happened because once he went to England, and there when he wanted to come back, he did not have money to come back. So he had to stay there, work there, and work hard to earn the money for the travel. So something I have never done since. That means he has never gone abroad just like that. He just avoided, because if he is not able to come back then, so that was the thing which came to his mind. It's better to not go only to some other country. And home wasn't parents and brothers and sisters. They were no longer here. Home for me was India. So actually he was not missing his family members. For him, his home was not his parents or his brothers and sisters. His home was the country, India. Because his parents had died quite early, and they got separated also. Even like when he was just 10 years old, they were separated. Then, so he actually did not miss his family much. He missed the country more. And so what is it that keeps me here? By birth, I take too closely after a Nordic grandparent to pass for a typical son of the soil. People often ask me where I hail from. India, I say. But you don't look like an Indian, they protest. I am a red Indian, I say. So Ruskin Bond here says, what is it that keeps me here? He said, I don't know what keeps me here, but still that I don't know how much I love this country. He has not spoken very openly that he loves India, but he says that by birth, if I just talk about my descent, by birth I take too closely after a Nordic grandparent. Now, what is the meaning of the word Nordic? Nordic has come earlier also in your first chapter, Who Ate the Sun. Now, Nordic here again means some people referring like the people belonging to North Europe, mostly fair, tall, golden-haired and blue-eyed people. Somewhere, North Europe means from Scotland or Norway, that way. So I took too closely after a Nordic one of his grandparents was a Nordic. So he said I was looking much more like a foreigner. I had that looks. And that is why people often asked me where I hail from. that where do you come from? Which country do you belong to? I said I belong to India, because he was born in India. He was brought up in India actually. So when the people said, but you don't look like an Indian, then you say, I'm a Red Indian. Now again, Red Indian is a group of people or a tribe of people who are actually the natives of America, okay, Native Americans. So that way he used to just jokingly tell them, I'm a Red Indian, okay, and actually, but he always had lived in India and also was born in India. So India is where I was born and went to school and grew to manhood. India was where my father was born and went to school and worked and died. So he said, why people ask me this? Just because my descent or my genetic history is some other race. I just belong to a different race, but still I am an Indian. My father was also an Indian. He was also born in India, and he also went to a school in India only. So surely that entitles me to a place in the Indian sun. Now this is actually his argument, that my father and I both have been born in India, so we are entitled to be living here and considering India to be our country. Okay, to entitled to a place in the Indian sun means to call India their own homeland or their home country. And if it doesn't, I can revert to my mother's family and go back to the time. Taimur the Lame. How far back does one have to go in order to establish one's Indianness? Now he wants to know, how far do you want to go back in history to call yourself belonging to that particular country? So he even has something to do, some connections with Taimur, who was a conqueror again, a Muslim conqueror of Turkish origin, and who invaded India in 1398. So he actually calls and argues that he is an Indian. His father was also born here, and if you don't allow me to call myself an Indian just because my father and I were born here, then I can even go back in the history where my mother had a connection with a 500-year-old conqueror of India. Okay. Now it must be the land itself that holds me. So he says, what holds me here? What keeps me back here? Or what has held me? So he says, not the people or not my family members, because they are no more. He says the land itself. Means he loves India so much. Okay, the culture, the places, the Indian places, especially the hills, the mountains of India, and the whole of India actually. That is why he cannot think of leaving the country. But so many of my fellow Indians have been born and even reborn here, and yet they think nothing of leaving the land. So he is just wondering about one thing. So many of my fellow Indians, so many people, they actually don't give a thought before leaving the country. They are born here, they are brought up here, even they are reborn here. Means reborn is actually again a humor, that they are born to the same country again and again, and still they are trying to leave the country. And before leaving, they don't have any kind of regret or any kind of sadness in them. They will leave the mountains for the plains, the villages for the cities, their country for another country, which actually he could not do. He could not leave the beautiful mountains for the plains. He could not leave the villages, the Indian villages, they have their own beauty, for the cities. And he could not leave his country for any other country. So that is why I was wondering how they leave. And if other countries were a little more willing to open their doors, we would have no population problem. mass emigration would have solved it. So he even writes that if other countries, other European and American countries, Americas and all, if they were a little open, means if they were a little liberal in letting the other countries' citizens in their own countries, India would have had no problem of population. They need not worry about the population, because mass emigration would have solved it. Now, mass emigration means, this word emigration means to move out of a country, and mass means a large number of people when they move out. And immigration actually is just the opposite. IMMIGRATION. Immigration means coming from outside into a country. Now, but it's more than the land that holds me. He says it's just not the land. For India is more than a land. It's just not a land or an area. India is an atmosphere. Now he talks about the real culture of India. Over thousands of years, the races and religions of the world have mingled here and produced that unique, indefinable phenomenon, the Indian. So over thousands of years, the races and religions of the world have mingled here. So India actually has so much of diversity and so much of intermingling of different cultures here. Okay, and they have produced a unique and indefinable phenomenon, that is the Indian, so terrifying in a crowd, so beautiful in himself. So what is an Indian actually like, or what is India like? It is so terrifying in a crowd. Means in a crowd, it will be actually standing in a very separate or a terrifying manner, means, okay, people can get scared. And so beautiful in himself, and yet that person, that Indian, he is beautiful. And oddly enough, I am one too. So he says oddly enough. Why is calling him oddly? Just because actually he doesn't look like an Indian as the other Indians generally look. I know that I am as Indian as the postman or the panwala or your favorite movie star. Race did not make me an Indian. So he says, just because I have a different race, that is why the people question me that you don't look like an Indian. So race did not make me an Indian. Definitely race did not make me an Indian. He actually was an Indian from his heart, but history did. And also his history means the way he has lived in India, his father had lived in India, and they had started loving the country so much, and they could not think of any other country as their home. And in the long run, it is history that counts. So he is giving that again, that reason why he loves India so much, not because he looks like an Indian or he feels like an Indian. He just has been living here. He has lived here his whole life, and he finds it a very natural place for him to live there. Okay, he cannot think of going out of the country thinking that it was never his country. He could have gone, though, because he was born of British parents. His parents were originally from Britain, but still he just loves to stay here, and he is still living here in our country at a very good age. He was born in 1934, and for your knowledge, I can tell you the date also. Birthday falls on 19th May 1934, and he has turned 86 years now on 19th May 2020. So let's wish him a long life